I'm Kayla Carroll. I am the Ori Council Day Camp Program Director this year for our Cub Scouts, and I want to welcome you to our first ever video training for our volunteer staff, and those would be the people that come to lead the stations at our day camps. I want to say thank you to all of you who volunteer to be on our staff. We actually do 29 days of camp over the summer, and we have about 3,000 boys come to visit us, and we have a new staff every day. So that means there's nearly 1,000 of you that come to lead these fun stations and teach the boys. And the better we can support you, the better you'll be prepared to teach them and to have a great day at camp. Let me give you some tips for the day of camp. Arrival times are as follows. If you're doing a one-day camp with the Cub Scouts, you'll need to be at camp at 7 a.m. at the various locations. And if you're doing a Webelos camp, either day 1 or day 2 of Webelos camp, you'll need to be there at 12 noon. The reason we arrive early before all the boys is so that we can unload the trailer and set up each station and just be ready for them when they get there. Then you need to bring a lunch with you and a water bottle. You can bring a camp chair if you want. And you can also bring a pop-up or an umbrella for some shade. We do have trees at most of our camp locations, but I can't guarantee that everybody's gonna get a tree. So if you wanna bring your own shade, that's great. If you don't need to use it, you can leave it in your car or whatever. Then at the end of the day, after the last station is done, there's 10 stations throughout the day. We'll load up. You can have your last group of boys help you pack your tote and clean up all the station stuff, and then you'll take it back over to the trailer and help us load it if you would please. That gets us all home a little bit earlier, and we're usually done loading the one-day camps by 4 o'clock, sometimes earlier, and the Webelos camps will be all packed up and ready to go home before 9 o'clock, I'm sure. So welcome to the videos. I'm going to go through each tote separately, and there'll be a video for each one. And we'll see you on your day of camp. Okay, so this station is called Caught Red-Handed, and it's all about fingerprints and fingerprinting and stuff like that. When you unload the trailer in the morning, you're gonna look for this tote. It'll have a label on the top that says Caught Red-Handed. You'll also need to look for this poster. It's a trifold poster of fingerprints. So then you'll go to your station location and you'll unload your tote and set things up for the day, at least for your first station. There's several things in your tote. There's some lotion to help the boys' fingerprints stick to the glasses. I'll explain that in a minute. There's your station leader instructions. This has a write-up in it that tells you how to run the station and all the background information of fingerprints and things like that, and a little story that you're told the boys. Hopefully you'll get an email from your volunteer coordinator that has the instructions in it that you can look over before camp. If you don't see that soon, give them a holler so they can email those to you. So there's pencils. This is ink pads so that the boys can put their fingerprints down on paper, as well as a fingerprinting brush and fingerprint powder. Now it's important that only the station leader does the powder. This has lasted for a long time, and we'd like it to last for a long time to come. So this is just for the station leaders. There's Scotch tape to lift the fingerprints off of the glasses. There's half sheets of paper for the boys to collect their fingerprints on. There's wipes to help clean up with that. Pencil sharpeners in case your pencils need sharpened. And then there's 2 buckets with little glass jars in them. And this is going to be our way to collect fingerprints. So there's one for each boy. So that's what comes in your tote. Now I'll explain a little bit about the story that you will tell the boys when your station starts. Yesterday you were at the store with your parents. While you were there, you witnessed a crime. You noticed someone taking a bottle of soda out of the glass refrigerator, put it in their coat pocket, and walk out the store. You tell your parents, and they tell the store employee, who then calls the police. When the police arrive, they want to talk to you about what you saw. What do you think they'll want to know from you? So ask the boys this. What do you think the police are going to want to know? They may ask where it happened, what the person took, what did they look like, and then ask the boys, can you describe their clothes or anything that stood out to you about that person? Did you see the car they left in, or what direction they went, where they left when they left the store? Have the kids discuss it and make up answers for these questions. Because of course we don't really see this crime happening, we're just making it up. Then have the children discuss, or then explain that the police gather evidence at crime scenes. And one way they look for evidence is by taking fingerprints at the scene of the crime. So when they have someone in custody, they can compare the fingerprints to the ones at the crime scene. So we can all be good citizens by being aware of what is happening around us, and if we see something out of the ordinary, to take extra care to notice the details and relay those to the proper authorities. So that's kind of the explanation of what we're doing and what they need to be looking for. So now we're going to demonstrate how a crime scene investigator might lift a print off of the glass door of the refrigerator at the store at our made-up crime scene. So you can explain that fingerprints are coated with perspiration and oil, but in our dry climate here in Idaho, our fingers are often pretty dry, and that's not going to leave a great print. So we have this lotion. So you can give the boys a little bit of lotion, have them moisten up their hands a little bit, and then they can grab the glass. Just have them grab it. Hopefully leave a really good print on there, and I see a couple good ones there. Then you as a station leader will retrieve this brush. And you just dip it really lightly in the powder. You don't need a lot. It goes a long way. And I don't know if you can see the powder on there, but I'm barely using any powder, and I can see a really good print there. So once you get the powder dusted, I'm just going to put this brush back now. So put it back in there. Then take a piece of clear tape, just a couple inches. Put it over the fingerprint. Lift it off the glass, and then stick the tape to the paper. Okay, I have way too much powder on there, and I didn't wipe it off good enough before I lifted that print, but you can kind of see the print in the middle there. And then get the poster out, or call attention to the poster. Sorry. And talk about the different types of fingerprints. And then they can take the print that you lift off the glass for them, and they can compare it. Do they have loops? Do they have arches? Do they have whorls? And hopefully you do a better job than I did, because I can't really tell. But I don't have my right glasses on either. Anyway. Then after that, have them take an ink pad and put their fingerprints on paper with ink, which are easier to see than the powder. This is where your wipes will come in handy to get the ink off. Then they should be able to take this to the poster and compare, see which type of fingerprint they have. We'll also have a magnifying glass in the tote so they can really get a good look at their fingerprints if they want to see them more closely. Have them write their name on their paper so that they don't get them mixed up, because they can take those with them. So after you get done with the demonstration of the powder, line up the boys, have them do the ink prints, and then after they get their ink prints done and they have their hands washed, then they can take the glass, put their fingerprint on it, you'll do the brushing, put the tape on, they can pull the tape off, stick it to their paper. They can even team up and trade papers. I would write their names on the back so you can't see who it is. Have them team up, trade papers, and they can try to decide if they can figure out whose fingerprints are whose. You can do a lot of different things like that with the station. At the end of the station, when you hear the horn blast, that's when you'll clean up and reset for your next group. You'll have 10 groups in a day, so you know, you'll need to wipe down the glasses with a wipe. Try to use the wipes a little sparingly, because we don't have an unlimited number of them, and we have a lot of boys through the summer. So and then make sure if the ink pads run dry, let us know. We'll have ink refills that we can fix those for you with. And then just be ready for your next group. At the end of the day, when it's the very last station, you'll pack everything back up like you found it, put it in the tote, and then you'll take the tote and your poster back to the trailer and help us load up the trailer, and then you're good to go for the day. I hope that you enjoy the fingerprint station and have fun with the boys with the story, and see how many details they can remember. And you can do a lot with that too. You could have them tell you about opening ceremonies at camp that day and see how much they can remember about what happened, just so they're used to looking for details.